Dungeon Meshi. Ah, Dungeon Meshi, how delicious would it be? We can only dream about that, so why won't more people think about cooking monsters from the dungeon? And why is the main cast so obsessed with it? Well, the story goes somehow like this. One party gets wiped out by the red dragon. Felin sacrifices herself to save her brother Laios just to get swallowed and eaten, and the rest barely escape with their lives. Laios, the brother of the swallowed, wants to go back into the dungeon right away, but some of the party members leave because saving Felin would not even be possible in their minds. The only people who stay with Laios are the half-foot Chilchak and the elf Marsil. But the biggest problem of the dungeon exploration is what's made them fail the Red Dragon raid. It was the hunger and food. Because processed food, stale bread and jerky are the only rations they could bring, and that's when Laios wants to experiment only thanks to his obsessive love to monsters and with their carcasses. Yes, he wants to eat the dungeon monsters. Something most of us would think to be normal, but it's understandable because who knows how monster food can affect you? That's a big concern in this world, where the three of them agree with Laios but none of them know how to cook it. So the moment they get some ingredients from the first floor, they come to the gathering area. There they try to cook but are approached by a friendly dwarf who helps them cook the big mushroom. After bonding over a dinner, he joins their party for exploration. We get the chef as our dwarf Senshi. And so, the adventure to save Felin begins. Slowly, Chilchak and Marsil start to accept dungeon food because Laios already had his curiosity piqued by just the possible combination and variety of the dungeon food. Senshi lived in the labyrinth since the opening, and being a dwarf makes him hungry really quickly. That's why he likes to cook every possible moment. And in this way the story progressed. They've gone down the floor, they fought some monsters, they made food from said monsters, and so they slowly progressed down. The story of the party progressed mostly this way till episode 12. That was the turning point. But just going down the dungeon, they had many encounters whenever it was with other adventurers, their old party members, or even some orcs which helped them after a little trade. Their bonds get stronger with each meal, and slowly we get the backstories from each of the characters. Whenever it is the half-foot Chilchak who goes into the dungeon for the money to send his family at home, Marsil who wants to study the dungeon ecology and wants to create her own dungeon sometime in the future, and we can see that Laios and Falin run away from home when Falin was studying at the magic school and he was either in the army or helping here and there just to live together with his sister and come to the island where the dungeon is. As those were the early days of the dungeon exploration, they earned money from scraping gold from the walls and so on. About Senshi, it's more that he has regrets about how he survived in the past. I mean, yes, I can spoil even more, but why should I? Those were minor spoilers, but overall it is the plot of the story. The story continues as they meet the dragon, but that's episode 10. As we learn more about the characters and as we slowly go deeper into the dungeon, more mysteries unveil. Whenever it is the past about the dungeon, whenever it became a dungeon, or who made it into a dungeon, at least most of those questions are explained in the 24 episodes of this show. Even the monsters are explained down to the T, and it's interesting how deep delicious in dungeon really is. Whenever it is the aspect of cooking, first steam it lightly, cut around the stem in a circle, twist it a bit and pull out to get the seeds out, with the skin to make it soft and cover the pan with it, grind up the unripe fruit, adding slime and some scorpion broth, mixing it until it thickens, and when it's smooth, add the rest of the scorpion broth and chunks of the 3 fruits. Mix it a bit and pour it into the frying pan, cook it a bit, and when it starts bubbling, add the rest of the fruit. Alright, it's done. Exploration, monster explanation, about the traps, about the ecosystem, and so on. Overall, it is a really good show which I enjoyed and would rate it really highly. The animation illustration can character design were all spot on. The music was really good too. The Irish style of music felt really nice. But the problem with the show I have is because nothing stood out, nothing felt weird out of the place, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. But this is this kind of story, similar to Frieren, just a teeny little bit weaker. At least in Frieren we had no definitive end to the journey. It does not need to end there, because Frieren, as an elf, which lives for millennia, will live for the next millennia. But for Delicious in Dungeon, it's all about conquering the dungeon. If Frieren is the side quest, the anime, Delicious in Dungeon is the main quest, but to progress you need to do all of the side quests on the way, in a linear fashion. The story ended on a cliffhanger and theoretically could be ended in season 2, technically it can end in 13 episodes or maybe a tiny bit more for a cleaner ending, but who knows. As I am not a manga reader of the series, I have no idea how long realistically it will be. Still, I enjoyed the show, so I can only recommend it to you all. Thanks for watching, hope you all stay healthy and we are gonna see us in the next episode. Goodbye!